So, hello everyone. I was actually just writing some things down and thinking about the call that we had last night. It was an amazing call. Thank you guys for everybody that actually dialed in and tuned in. It was hundreds of you on the phone. And I really appreciated the energy was high. I love the interaction with speaking to you guys at the end with people asking questions and even this morning, I actually woke up to quite a few of you sending me messages talking about your aha moments, how you couldn't sleep because you had so much on your mind, when you did some of the assignments that I charged you with, how it really came out, how the things in your past was really dictating how you treated your money and how the habits that you have are really affecting your life today. And so, like I said last night, just awareness is one of the first biggest things into us making a shift and really transforming our finances. And so, one of the things that I want to really be able to point out, because a lot of times there are blind spots in your money that people don't realize that you have. And so it's really important, if you truly desire to change where you are. One of the things that I often tell people, the gap between where you are with your money and where you want to be, that bridge, literally you get access to it by the decisions that you make. And so if you never really make a decision, and making a true decision, I talked about this a little bit last night, you can tell whether you've really made a true decision by the action steps that you take. And so I guess, when I think about why I'm really doing this, it comes across is because I want people to understand that money gives you access. And so a lot of times it just gives you access into certain circles that you otherwise wouldn't even get through the security gate, let alone sit at the table. And so I don't want to teach people how to just have a seat at the table, for the important talks that go on in the circles with millionaires and billionaires. I want to teach people how to own the building that the table is in. I really want to teach people how to own not just the building that it's in, but how do you own the airspace, that occupies where the building is, because you know what? You deserve it. And furthermore, the Bible says we can have it. And so I am always blown by, people who just settle for what somebody else wants to give them. And so it's not about, for me, I trust me, I get it. Not everybody is going to start a business and become profitable. I do get that. I think the real gist of what I want people to do is to really take back their power and take back their control and stop allowing the government and their jobs and, sometimes even your spouse to dictate to you what you can and what you can't have, because it's really limitless. And so we don't have to live an average life. I don't believe that God created us to live an average life. And so if there's more available to me, I want the more. I talked about believing bigger last night and how important believing bigger is. And so I wrote down a few things, but, I talked about how it's not your fault, but it is your problem. A lot of times when we look at our money blueprint and how our money blueprint was formed, it may not have been our fault, because the influences in our lives when we were little, up until around the age of 7, really influence how I think about money, the habits that I have, what makes up my money blueprint, right? And so we talked about last night how it's not your fault, but it is your problem. And so I really want to commend you for your action, for signing up, and not just signing up, because there were plenty of people, hundreds of people that signed up, and not everybody made it to the call last night. And so again, last night was really amazing, but I want you guys to plant new seeds. That's what's really important. And so how do I have a rich mind? How do I shift my thoughts so I can go after the things that was promised to me? And so really, there's a new reality that, you can have more. You don't have to settle. You don't have to settle. You don't have to wait until your boss decides to give you a raise every year. You don't have to wait to only live by, the income that you make from going to a job. A lot of times people call jobs just over broke. That you don't have to stay limited to that. It's plenty of people that have built extremely successful businesses while they still had a job. And so, it doesn't take a bunch of money for you to shift what your money blueprint looks like. And so, I guess That's really, I want people to understand that there's a new reality that's really available for them. And it doesn't have to be good enough for you. In fact, I'm going to be really, really bold right now and say that it's not good enough. It's not good enough just to be average. Listen, because you can't depend on the government to do the right thing. We are living in such a time of uncertainty. And so, I just feel like it's not my boss's, it's not his right to tell me how I can educate my kids. And I've felt like this for 2 decades. You don't get to tell me where I can afford to send my kids to school and where I can't. You don't get to tell me how I can vacation, how long I can vacation, what type of environment I'm in when I'm vacationing, and how long I get to stay. I just want people to become the captain of their own financial ship. And that's really important. And so, how you live is average. If my pastor used to say all the time, if good, if better is available, good is not enough. And so because better is available to us now, average is just not enough. It's not enough. And so I just want to, and I get sometimes I am in your face. Good. My job is to be an agitator. I want to agitate the heck out of you because I want you to do something different. You don't have to live like everyone else does. You don't have to live, how people in your family lived or the people that's in your church or around you. If you want an exceptional life, then go get that exceptional life. And so it's really important. And how long? And I thought about that with when people were giving me reasons why they didn't make the call. And look, that's between you and the Lord. I don't have anything to do with that. No judgment here. But I can tell you, people show up for what's important to them. If they prioritize it, if you prioritize it, then you'll go after it. If not, it just becomes another excuse. And so either you want it or you don't. I am here to connect with the people that really, really, really want to make a financial shift. And so, how long have you been suffering in this department? Ask yourself that. How long has this been an issue in your life? How long has your finances not been the way that you desire them to be? How long? Does it seem like it's moving really, really slow? And so there's a reason why it moves slow. Are you comfortable with your money right now? And so, how long has this been happening? And most of the people that I talk to, it's been happening way too long. But don't give up. That is one of the biggest mistakes people make, is because they give up. Listen, I'm not going to lie and say that it's been easy for us, but it can be easier for you because you're connected to us, because I can tell you what mistakes not to make, where to navigate, where to shift, where to pivot, where to turn, to make it really easy for you. Rob and I are not special people. We're not. We're not also, we didn't get this by luck. We weren't just lucky. We worked really, really hard to get to where we are. And people say that, I don't have time for this, or they'll come up and tell themselves all kinds of stories. They'll tell themselves stories in their 20s, in their 30s, in their, 40s and 50s and 60s and beyond. But listen, it is never too late for you to build wealth. It's never too late. There's so many examples out here of people that started late in life and, before they closed their eyes, they had built massive wealth and they were able to leave legacies. It's never too late. It's never too late. It's on, when they say the fat lady sings, to me, it's not even too late when the fat lady sings. It's too late when I am 6 feet under in the ground and I am no longer breathing anymore. That's when it's too late. But as long as I have breath in my body, and as long as you get up and you stand on your 2 feet every single day, you have the ability to change your life. You have the ability to create wealth. You have the ability to go after and build your dreams. Just don't give up. And so I'm really excited about Thursday's call. Listen, you know what? Thursday's call is really going to be dynamic because consistent cash flow changes everything. And so do what you have to do to be on the call. It's important because, there's many, the Bible talks about many are called and few are chosen. And the difference between the called and the chosen is that the chosen choose to show up. And so you want to be one that shows up for your future. You have to participate in your own rescue. And so I would admonish you to show up. I think it's important that, and I'm not, cutting off any other race, but I think it's important. I'm African American. It is important to me that I see other people like me on the mountaintop. That's important to me. I think that we are in a perfect position to have for us to rise, to the top, to the pinnacle where God created us to be. And so I wanted to read something to you that I read today that I thought was really, really sad. It was an article talking about how a percentage of Black African Americans don't have, they're not building a wealth plan, right? And so the article says, how long does money stay in the various communities? The dollar circulates 30 days in the Asian community. 30 days in the Asian community. That is 4.5 weeks because the average, is average of 4 weeks in a month. And so 30 days in the Asian community, 20 days in the Jewish community, 17 days in the white community, and 6 hours in the Black community. 6 hours. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 hours. And so the wealth gap between white and Black Americans haven't significantly budged in 50 years. 50 years. Listen to this. Black-owned businesses only get 2% of the Black consumer dollars. 2%. Listen, I'm going to be talking about the difference between earned income and passive income tonight and show you how to make significant changes because the life that you live today doesn't have to be your tomorrow. Seasons change. So get ready. Take plenty of notes on Thursday because I'm going to show up and I'm going to give it to you. Thank you, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.